want to tell you something because you hear about us talking Samaritan's Purse almost every week on this show. You may not know that every year Samaritan's Purse brings the joy of Christmas and God's love to children all over the world with a project called Operation Christmas Child. As a young girl growing up in a Ukrainian orphanage, my next guest knew firsthand just how much those gifts really mean. Now she's a national spokesperson for Operation Christmas Child. Would you please welcome Elizabeth Groff. Elizabeth, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, we're all thinking about Ukraine in ways we've never thought about because of all the horrible things that's going on with the Ukrainian people and the assaults that the Russians have done. I'm sure you have friends and family there that every day you hope are going to make it through the day.
Yes, absolutely. I have a lot of friends from my orphanage that I still keep in touch with, and of course some family, and I just continue to pray that everything's going to be okay.
When you were a little girl in an orphanage in Ukraine, you received one of these Operation Christmas Child boxes. And we see Franklin Graham talking about this and urged to be a part of it. What did it mean to you to get one as a kid?
Well, growing up in an orphanage, I felt abandoned, forgotten by the world. I lost my parents to alcoholism, and so when Operation Christmas Child came to my orphanage, I was really excited because this was the first gift that I had ever received. Ever in my life. I was 10 years old, but more importantly, in that moment, I realized that, you know, I'm not alone. God is with me. He's not gonna leave me broken and hopeless, but that he's gonna come beside me and become my family. He used that shoebox to say, you are not an orphan, you are my daughter.
Oh, wow. You know, we just think it's a box of toys, but it's much more than a box of just some toys and little articles. I mean, it's a box filled with hope and affirmation of God's love. I think we tend to think, oh yeah, I'll get some of those and send them to kids, not realizing that when you received yours, it changed your life.
Absolutely. These shoeboxes are gospel opportunities. You know, when they go out to children all over the world, they experience the love and hope of Jesus for the first time. And it's incredible.
I can't think of anybody better to be a spokesperson for Operation Christmas Child. Now, we figure that there's probably been quite a few of these that have been given out across the world. You're holding in your lap, you told me how many, this is the which one?
This is the 200 millionth shoebox.
200 millionth shoebox in your lap.
Yes.
That is a staggering amount of Christmas Child boxes that have gone to kids all over this planet and given the same kind of hope that you have had. What was in your shoebox that you still remember? And that's been a long time ago. But was there anything that when you opened that box, you still remember the feelings of joy that you reached in there and got?
Absolutely. My box was full. I mean, there was a lot of stuff in there. But my favorite item was a yellow yo-yo.
A yellow yo-yo?
Yes. And I had no idea how to use it, but I was so excited to have something of my own.
That, you know, we take so many things for granted, don't we?
Yes.
And just to get a yellow yo-yo, was it wooden or plastic? Do you remember?
It was plastic, and it was kind of clear, but it had a yellow hue to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. I got to ask you, how can people give a shoebox for Operation Christmas Child? I can't imagine that anyone listening to us discuss this would not want to say, count me in.
Well, we have this new feature online where you can pack a shoebox online. You can, with just a few simple clicks, you can pack a shoebox for a boy or a girl, and that shoebox will go to some of the hardest to reach places in the world.
You see, I think that's so incredible. I may send one to Keith. I think, you know, he probably would really enjoy getting a shoebox, but he'll want the yellow yo-yo. But Keith will want one that's made out of wood. And the reason is because, have you ever heard the expression, as confused as a termite in a yo-yo? Yeah. It has to be a wooden yo-yo or the termite wouldn't be that confused. So that's the kind we're going to get Keith for this. You were a little girl and you had a half-sister, and then you were left to go to the orphanage after one of your parents passed away, and you know, that must have been heartbreaking for you at that time, to be losing a family, losing that sense of having a sister, and then suddenly an orphanage.
Yes, it was very difficult, especially because, you know, my sister and was my entire family. She was my whole purpose. I really just wanted to give her a better life. And so when we were separated, I mean, I felt like I lost my purpose in life. My entire world fell apart, and I just felt hopeless, forgotten, abandoned.
You have come to deep faith. Obviously, this is not just a charitable project, it's a project of faith.
Yes.
How did you come to Christ in the midst of all the things that you had gone through?
Well, while I was at the orphanage, we were attending a church every Sunday. And while I didn't know our Lord personally, I started praying to him on my own. And I would ask him, what is the purpose? Why am I here? I feel alone, I feel hopeless. And so that's when Operation Christmas Child came to my orphanage, and it was an answer to my prayer.
Wow.
This was a tangible expression of his love for me.
You know, it's one of those things we sometimes just forget that little box
Yes.
right there can change a person's life, changed yours.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, Elizabeth, for being here. And there is still time to send an Operation Christmas Child shoebox to a child in need, but you need to hurry. Christmas is coming up pretty quick. Please consider going to the Samaritan's Purse website or calling their number right now and giving a simple yet life-changing gift. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I hope you will now. The button is just below this video, and there's a little bell next to it. If you click on those, YouTube will reluctantly start letting you know when we've got a new video uploaded.